step to remove that. So it's just not good. It's not good. But we have to kind of think forward too. The kind of hemp that we're growing is industrial hemp, but it is grown for medicine. There is a whole other side of this argument that if a guy was in the back room, he'd be laughing and pointing at me, because what they do, they get in a big tractor, they plant it with a brilliant, and they're having basically 3 harvests: a seed harvest, a stalk harvest, and a herd harvest. So they're building, that's the hemp crete blocks, that's the soap, the rope, that's the building material side of things. They depend on pollination. They have to have the males and females getting together to create those seeds. So there's 2 very specific ways that this is done, and they cannot mingle. And that's the difficult part. Western Colorado gives us an opportunity because we don't have a big mill. So you can grow 10,000 acres of industrial hemp grown for strand and for herd, and you're going to have to load it up on a semi and haul it to Springfield, Colorado, is the closest one. And then you better know somebody or have a brother-in-law that's running it, because they're so busy that they won't take any new customers. So it's a little bit of a chicken and the egg thing. Until there's a big mill built over here, we'll be able to continually grow this stuff outdoors. Once that happens, all high CBD hemp, all cannabinoid producing hemp will start to be grown indoors.
If you were to take the CBD oil on a regular basis, and if for some reason you had to have a urine drug screen testing for drugs, would it show up?
That's a really good question, and I cannot tell you with 100% certainty how your body chemistry is going to react. However, again, anecdotally, and I hate saying that, but that's the truth, we have multiple patients that currently are in panel drug testing as drivers. So drivers in the oil field, concrete truck drivers, a couple teachers, that theoretically could have to become privy to a urinalysis. Short answer is it shouldn't, but there are body chemistries that have failed drug tests on hemp-derived supplements. Go ahead.
Where are you located?
We're on Orchard Mesa as the headquarters. That's where the main farm is. The fields are grown. We have fields from 6th Road throughout Junction, and then off into Delta and Montrose County as well.
Do you sell them in stores?
We currently are carried by a few stores: Sisson's Feed and Seed, Fruta Chiropractic, and Acupuncture.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
No, but I'll give you, and I should have brought a bunch of stuff, but we have a booth out there. If you wouldn't mind coming by, and I'll give you our farm address. And that's kind of, until we have enough time to build a storefront, the way that we handle that is you come to the farm, we have a nice office, it's comfy. We have lots of dogs around though, it's kind of annoying.
I'm a city girl.
Yeah.
How many acres?
This year there's a little less than 120 acres that will be grown on 12 different registrations. Go ahead.
Is your business affected by the federal banking regulation?
Absolutely. It is the number one issue. Any federal banking regulators in here? So basically, you just have to have creative entity management. So I have Moose Agricultural it's not a parent company of Colorado Hemp Solutions, it is a separate company. But Moose Agricultural is in charge of the financial direction and the financial management of Colorado Hemp Solutions. So therefore, the registrant, according to the Department of Agriculture, is Colorado Hemp Solutions. But if you can think about it, it's not a true fiduciary, but if you can think about it along those lines, that's kind of how we've organized the outfit. Absolutely.
Well, I noticed that when I bought the oil for my dog from you, it has no THC in it, where the root of it all that I take for my arthritis, it has a touch of THC in it. So
the Moose's Magic batch that you got there, that is a little bit of an outlier in that distillate, those plants had such a low THC coefficient that through distillation, after we went and tested, so the third-party testing on that batch of Moose's Magic came back non-detectable with THC. We did not do a chemical removal of that molecule. That was the good Lord. And also, guys, full disclosure, testing is kind of it's a mess. Like I can send the same thing to 3 different labs and have 3 fairly different results. So it's difficult in that, yes, that test came back non-detectable. We send it again, it might come back at 0.1, 0.2%, and that would be perfectly acceptable.
Well, I think CBD oil is a great thing because I use it for my arthritis and it has really helped.
I appreciate you. Yes, sir.
I have a two-part question. Where can one purchase feminized seeds? And also, can you take a plant and use it into a food source?
Into a feed
A
source?
food source.
Yes, absolutely. So, and that's a whole nother line that we could talk about is hemp in foods. Not from a legal standpoint, like we have to treat our topicals and our sublinguals, but as a true food. The biggest hemp farm in the world, no matter who argues with you, is in British Columbia, and it is for cereal. These guys grow an insane amount of hemp hearts, which is, think about the way I understand it, a seed that's very immature. And they'll take those hemp hearts and dry them and do their thing, and it's food. There's also, like we talked about, the cold pressed hemp seed oil. There's a lot of derivatives that are showing up in food. Tofu, meatless meat kind of stuff. All kinds of stuff is coming forward.
Can one purchase feminized seeds?
The whole genetics game is a very difficult thing to go down. Yes, the answer, yes. What we're having to do is we're helping be that conduit for guys that are trying to get into farming and growing hemp. So come by the booth, get my phone number. We're in the middle of harvest now, so it's insanely busy. But as winter comes, I'm going to start working through that call list and trying to help people make sure that they're not having any catastrophic mistakes.
Where can we find your booth out here?
And we're in booth 27. We're next to the Alzheimer's Association. So we're kind of on that end, in the middle.
One more question from me. I was just wondering, aren't they trying to get CBD oil out to be, for the consumer in stores right now?
Yep, it's being driven by the isolate predominantly, but yes, the Lucky's Market in the Front Range is a perfect example. That's a pretty big, I thought it was 1 or 2 grocery stores until I went and started kind of looking through how many, that's quite a few grocery stores, and they have an aisle.
Of CBD oil?
Absolutely
But
different.
does it have a touch of THC in it?
Some of the offerings do, absolutely. Remember, nothing that we can grow, nothing that we can make can have more than 0.3% THC. So even though we might have a full spectrum spot, as far as any health ratio, like you'll see for cancer treatment, having a 1-to-1 THC to CBD ratio, you're never going to accomplish that in the industrial hemp world. That's where the dispensaries and the marijuana companies are going to have a spot forever in medicine. What we do is we try not to strip that plant. We try not to isolate. We try not to mess with it. And we grow genetics that have a super low THC in the genetic. So even though we have a tiny bit of THC in there, it is very, very, very tiny. You guys all good?
I'm very impressed by your operation and your knowledge.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody coming today. This is nice. It's very fun to see so many people. This is a very powerful plant that if we can lose the stigma, not just on hemp, on marijuana too. If you can wear a belt buckle and cowboy boots and talk about cannabis, it is a very, very important thing that I think in 50 years people are going to really look back at the prohibition of such as quite a mistake. So.